Good morning, everyone. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Let's kick back and relax. And for those of you that are returning subscribers, welcome back to another New World video. So, did Amazon Game Studios possibly go too far this time? In the latest developer blog entitled End Game Update, Amazon Game Studios outlined what many have called the doom of New World. I'm going to try to be as objective as I possibly can. I will state that I pretty well have a good gist of what exactly is in this developer blog slash end game update, and it's going to upset a lot of people. So let's go ahead and dig on into these patch notes, or sorry, the comments for eventual patch notes. December end game update. Based on feedback on the high watermark system, garbage. Sorry, got something in my throat. System and our desire to have a compelling and diverse endgame, we are making some major updates in our December 1.2 patch. Our goal for the endgame is to provide a variety of activities that all provide compelling rewards and interesting challenges. In this article, I'll discuss 3 big changes we'll be making: improving our endgame gear progression, increasing rewards for some in-game activities, and tuning difficulty of end-game content. Okay, let's go ahead and dig on in. Gonna try to keep this as short as I possibly can, but here we go. Expertise in gypsum system. Since New World's launch, we've heard the feedback from our community that the high watermark system was not communicated effectively, promotes a single monotonous activity, had too much randomness, and was a bit too grindy. So we are completely revamping the system to address these concerns. This new and improved high watermark system is called Expertise. In the December update, Expertise will Expertise will govern the highest drops you can get per slot, much like high watermark did. But starting in early 2022, it will also govern the effectiveness of your gear. This means if your Warhammer expertise is 520 and you equip a 550 gear score Warhammer, the weapon's effective gear score will be reduced to 520. While we understand to some players this may result in a temporary reduction in power, we believe in the long run this will result in more rewarding progression loop that can't be bypassed by buying gear off the trading post. Insert slap in the face here, Amazon Game Studios. Now, granted, this is based off of my opinion, and I'm not even at 60 yet. I'm making a hard push to 60, right? But for those who have put in the work to grind out their ridiculous high watermark system, which, by the way, is probably the worst end-game progression system in the history of MMOs, Amazon Game Studios. The history of MMOs. You're going to claim to have heard the feedback from your community, who literally has told you thousands upon thousands of times that your high watermark system needs to be completely scrapped. Not revamped, but scrapped. And then you're going to slap them in the face by saying that we heard you. Beautiful. A major improvement provided by Expertise is that a player's expertise per slot is displayed on the inventory screen, as well as the average expertise of all equipped gear. Okay, I mean, that's a good addition. You know, it would have been nice to have had it at the very beginning of their system, right? Additionally, each time a player gets an expertise bump, a level up banner will appear showing their new expertise level. Note that the expertise system unlocks at level 60, so this information will not be shown until then. And we'll switch over to this view so that way you can see it a little better. And so as you can see here, it now displays beside each slot of gear. Right? Nifty. If only this wasn't the worst end-game progression system of all time, people would probably be really receiving this. But without me getting on a rant and being too negative, let's go ahead and continue. The second major improvement we made is adding a way for players to control their gear progression. That's a key term, control their gear progression. To achieve this, we introduced gypsum. Gypsum is a new resource that is found by doing a variety of activities. Gypsum can be crafted into gypsum orbs, which can then be turned into special caches called gypsum casts. Gypsum casts are gear type specific and, when open, guarantee an expertise bump for that type of gear as well as an item of that type. So if you really want to increase your bow expertise, you can craft gypsum bow casts. Players can earn gypsum by doing 7 different in-game activities. Obsidian gypsum is obtained by defeating level 60 plus open world named bosses, typically found in elite landmarks, or points of interest, as some of us call it. Sapphire gypsum, defeating the final bosses of the Lazarus Instrumentality and Garden of Genesis. Ruby gypsum is found in Outpost Rush caches. Emerald gypsum found in trade skill aptitude reward containers. Citron gypsum is found in arena caches. Amethyst gypsum found in breach caches. Topaz gypsum is found on hostile creatures level 55 plus, but only after consuming a special attunement potion that can be crafted at tier 5 camp. Now, the interesting caveat to that is everybody is pretty sure that this is capped at like a 1 week type of thing, or maybe once per day. They haven't fully confirmed that yet, but stay tuned for that little gem. I'm sure that's going to be very interesting. We believe that providing different ways to collect gypsum will allow players to play a variety of content while always finding at least a few activities they love to progress in their gear score. Engaging in these activities for 30 to 60 minutes a day will earn players enough gypsum of that type to craft a gypsum orb, except for Topaz, since the attunement potion can only be crafted, oh yeah, there it is, once a week, right? Oh man. After players have earned sufficient gypsum for an orb, they won't earn more for 23 hours. Gypsum orbs can then be crafted into gypsum casts of any weapon, armor, or trinket type. Note, you can only craft any type of cast once per day. So, yeah. More time gating and more of the same. Amazon Game Studios. You're gating everything. Opening a gypsum cast will guarantee expertise bump, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We've introduced a new kiln crafting station and all end-game zones that allow players to craft gypsum orbs and various gypsum casts. Note that we tuned down the general chances of getting an expertise bump to compensate for the guaranteed bumps that were added with gypsum. So, loot is getting nerfed once again. Elite chests at odds were reduced a little, but open world named enemies were reduced a lot. But we have increased up the amount your expertise increases with each bump to make gypsum casts and the random bumps feel more valuable. So they've nerfed loot overall from chests and mobs, but when you finally do get one, it's a big bump in your high watermark. So, yeah, there's that. Reward improvements. To ensure all our in-game activities provide compelling rewards for the effort and risk involved, we reviewed them and made some adjustments. We will continue to audit our rewards for each activity and make further adjustments as necessary. For this round, we have focused on expeditions. Our goal is that expeditions are super rewarding experiences since they require a time investment to craft an orb and are challenging content. We've made 4 adjustments to make them more rewarding. Each expedition boss will guarantee a random expertise bump. Wow. Finally? Okay. We fixed all chests in Lazarus Instrumentality and Garden of Genesis so they have a chance to provide in-game expertise bumps. Okay. Added item shards as a guaranteed drop for expedition bosses and as a chance to drop from elite chests. Okay. Added guaranteed sapphire gypsum drops from each expedition boss. Okay, so essentially what they're doing is they're revamping the whole end game loop, and they're trying to funnel everybody into doing expeditions again because everybody realized that doing expeditions really was kind of worthless. Even for me in my mid 50s, there's really no, how should I say, incentive to do any expeditions. Mainly just go out and quest, kill mobs, and rinse and repeat until, you get to 60. And then once you hit 60, yeah, I mean, you can kind of go out and maybe do some of that, but everybody knows it's not the most efficient way. So they're revamping the whole loop, is what they're doing. So that's pretty interesting. Um, Item shards are a new crafting ingredient that enables players to craft an item with a specific attribute bonus on it while still being able to use a craft mod to guarantee a perk. So now you'll be able to stipulate whether or not it's going to be an intelligence-based item or a strength-based item, and you also get to guarantee at least one perk on that item. So some revamping to the crafting, which is desperately needed, and really is the way it should have been all along, to help increase the value of crafting gear, but at the same time, they're slapping back crafting gear because now, if you even purchase a 600 gear score, it's going to scale it back to 500. So if you're level 60 and you purchase a 600, it's going to be at 500. Now, they go on further to say that you will grow into it, which is all fine and dandy, but man, is the crafting side of this game going to take a huge, huge slap in the face. Like, oh man. Yeah, interesting. So this should make all those activities more rewarding, since they will result in gear progression and one guaranteed good drop from opening the gypsum cast. We felt that war and invasion were already rewarding enough, and due to their limited availability, wanted to be careful about making them even more rewarding. Arena bosses also guarantee an additional random expertise bump, which along with Citron Gypsum hopefully make them rewarding activities now. Difficulty adjustments. We've made several adjustments in the end-game difficulty to compensate for some accidental overtuning we did in the November patch. We improperly set several enemies to a difficulty level above what we intended. With these changes, we hope to find a middle ground between the too easy end-game content we had pre-November and the overtuned HP sponges we had afterwards. The upcoming December release notes will provide more specifics on those changes. Remember, level 66 elite landmarks are supposed to be really hard, requiring very optimized gear and consumables. With the changes to expertise, players can progress their gear in a variety of ways before venturing to those end-game areas. We've also modified 2 other elite landmarks to become end-game points of interest. The Malevolence Elite POI in Eden Grove was up-leveled to level 66 content and now has 6 elite chests that can all provide in-game expertise bumps. And the Imperial Palace and North Dynasty Shrine elite landmarks in Even Scale Reach were also up-leveled to level 66 content, and 8 elite chests were added. Now there will be an in-game open world area in each of the end-game territories: Even Scale Reach, Shattered Mountain, Eden Grove, and Breakwater. So in conclusion, we're sorry that the end-game experience was not at par with the start of the game, and hope these changes start to remedy that. We're not done yet, and we'll continue to refine, improve, and add to our endgame over time. But hopefully these changes will create a better foundation to build off. Everything other than expertises, or that's a weird word, effectiveness on gear, which will be released early 2022. Will be available tomorrow to try out on the PTR. Please let us know your feedback on the expertise and gypsum system in the PTR feedback thread. And I will leave a link in the description below to that PTR feedback thread for those of you that want to actually make a comment. A lot to digest there, folks. A lot to digest. I wish that Amazon Game Studios really, I mean, this is my opinion. You guys might have a completely different opinion. I don't know. take it with a grain of salt for what it is, but the high watermark system is, in my opinion, the worst end game progression system in the history of MMOs. Why on earth they are so hell bent on keeping this broken, tedious, ludicrous system in place and on life support is beyond me. At this point, I almost feel like they would be more ahead to actually just replace the whole system and revamp their dungeons and so forth to accommodate just a traditional tried and true eye level system, tier system, anything. It almost makes me wonder where their thinking is, because obviously when you're doing MMOs, you know, you're developing an MMO not just for the short term, like, you know, 6 months down the road. You're developing with the potential of a 10-year plan. It makes me wonder exactly how this progression system, the high watermark system, fits into their long-term goals for the game. Why are they so hell-bent on trying to fix a broken system? It really makes me wonder. Overall, though, you know, I take away from this little communique, they're at least doing something right. You know, they got it half right by making the changes that they did to the dungeons. Sorry, expeditions. You know, they're making them viable. They're breaking the loop currently, which is pretty, you know, dismal, really. And they're making expeditions worth something again. So that's good, if they were even worth anything to begin with, really. But they're putting them into the loop where people are going to be running them a lot. So this is going to affect the economy a lot. Like, this whole thing is going to affect the economy a lot. It's going to crash current economies because the current economy is based off of the current end game loop, right? So that end game loop is going to be broken. Granted, you know, we can put a disclaimer in there and say that, you know, a lot of this is subject to change, but given Amazon Game Studios' history with the game, this is probably what we're going to get, guys. This is probably what we're going to get. Take it or leave it. You know, I love the game. I really do. But man, Amazon Game Studios, you are making it really, really hard. Oh my God. But anyway, so that's all I got for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about, you know, this latest developer blog. I'm very curious to see what everybody's opinion actually is. And, you know, give me your strong argument, either for or against what these changes are bringing. And also, in case you missed my last video, by the end of the year, if we reach 1,000 subscribers or more, I'm actually going to be giving away $50 of New World Premium currency. All you have to do is leave a comment down below with the keyword hashtag Yeti2021 and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. That's all you got to do. By the end of the year, as long as we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will select one winner. And depending on how many more we get, if we get over that, I might actually throw in a little bonus. I won't talk about that just yet, but we'll see. So if you guys want to keep up to date and see more from me, make sure you hit that like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the new world.